Last episode, we finished the exterior of the tavern, we did some landscaping, and we built a blacksmith ready to house a small furnace array, which is something we need as a small piece of a much larger project. A very small piece. It's not exactly going to be a big array in a building that size, is it? But this episode, we're going to be making steps towards building something that I really want, and that is not one, but two automated tree farms. We want one for the regular woods like your oak, your spruce, your birch, and things like that, and we 100% definitely want one for mangrove, because that stuff is an absolute pain to harvest, and I hate it so much. We are, however, quite a way off getting there, because there's a bunch of things that we're going to need that we don't currently have access to, and primarily that is slime and honey blocks. So my plan for today is to get a furnace array up and running in here so we can get glass easier, and then we're going to be focusing on these little guys. And that also means we're going to need a shiny new building to put them in. My initial thought was to put the bee farm inside the tavern itself, because that is, of course, completely empty at the moment, but I think I might actually be slowly concocting some other plans for the interior of that. So that means we're going to need to add a new building to our island in which to house the bee farm, and that's something we can look forward to later on in the episode. And to be honest, that kind of helps me develop this island further, because I love how it's coming along, but I really want to see it with more buildings on it. But first up, furnace array. Right, let's take a look on the inside. So how in the world are we going to get any kind of decent sized furnace array in here? I have absolutely no idea, but while I think about it, I'm going to start gathering some resources that I know we're going to need to make it. I think I've gathered together everything I need, and the first thing I can conclude is that there is definitely not going to be enough space on the ground floor here. So the very first thing we're going to do is actually just get some floors in this place. Well, this should be much more space, and we can probably do something up the top for actually loading it. And we'll have the furnace array here, and ultimately we do want to deliver it. I think that's the right spot. Yes, we want to deliver it into these barrels here. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually get these hooked up, and then we can just sort of put all the furnaces on top, I guess. So in theory, that should be enough, and let's see how many furnaces we can actually get in. 12. We can get 12 furnaces in. That's okay, that'll do for now. So in fact, I'm going to have to reorganize these hoppers here just a little bit so we don't pull out the wrong things. Perfect. And now we can actually get away with putting hoppers on the back of these. And then we'll get hoppers that go in the top. And I guess we're going to have to remove that one as well, just so we can have the minecart going backwards and forwards. But in theory, this should work out okay. Let's see if we can get some rail laid down. And if we temporarily put a piece there, that should stop the rails from connecting at some dodgy angle. We really don't want that. Let's just block off this back shelf. We don't need this. And let's also block off this side here so we don't see all the minecarts running around from downstairs. That should be about right. And we'll fill in the rest of the floor. And to try and make this look a little bit nicer, we're just going to hide all the hoppers at the bottom here. And in fact, I'm going to hide the top ones as well. But we'll use stairs for that so that we can sort out the corner a little bit better. And at the back here, in theory, we should be able to remove that now without causing any problems with the track layout. Excellent. We'll also get these hidden so that you can't actually see the hoppers. How are we going to do that? I guess we're going to need a stair, aren't we? Well, it looks a little bit janky, but it's fine. If we put a stair on this side and a trapdoor here, that should help to balance it a little bit. Yeah, it'll do. So if we put a chest minecart there and another one there, and then put a lever here, power these rails here and these rails here, in theory, that should work absolutely fine. Look at that, doing what they need to do. Obviously, it would help if we actually loaded them up with something, but for now, that's absolutely fine. Now, let's see if we can make this room look a little bit nicer. A short while later, and I think I'm actually done. So if we have a little look around, I've just added an armor stand out the front here just to indicate a little bit more what the purpose of this building is. And I've done nothing useful with the ground floor whatsoever. I've just rammed it full of stuff that a blacksmith might have. And barrels. Lots and lots of barrels. There wasn't too much I could do with this room because of the furnaces and so on, but it is functional. That's the important thing. And if we go up to the top floor, you can see I've just put a Beardstone safety barrier in here so I don't fall into the furnace itself. And everything is working just fine. So with the blacksmiths complete, that means we can make a start on the next project, which is, of course, our bee farm. We want to be collecting honey primarily. We will, of course, want some honeycomb as well. But mainly for now, we just want to be collecting the actual honey blocks because that's what we're going to need for our tree farms. So at this stage, I don't actually know where I want to put this building. I don't even know what it's going to look like, how big it's going to be, or any of that stuff. And I also don't have any bee nests. So first port of call, I guess we're going on an adventure. turned out to be a thoroughly unexciting adventure, but we did manage to get ourselves a whole bunch of bee nests, and that's exactly what we're going to need to start this farm. I know that I could have just got a couple and made some hives, but I just think the bee nests look better. Not that I have any idea where to put this building or how it's going to look, or even how to build the farm yet. But I do know a lot of the things I'm going to need to make this work, and that involves going into my redstone box, which is unsurprisingly very empty. As long as I've got quartz, I'm all good. Okay, we've got some quartz. Excellent. I think I've got everything I need, and after having a look around, I think I'm actually going to build over here. I just need to work out exactly how much space I need, and probably raise up the ground just a little bit. I think that's roughly the size and shape I'm going to need. We're going to have quite a lot of bees over here, but I do also actually need to go get some more stone, because we've completely run out. But I think we'll just head down into the mines and just take out a chunk. I've got me torches. Much better. So, next thing I need to do is actually try and work out where I'm going to put this thing and how much space we're going to need. But I think I'm just going to mark it out with dirt for now. So I think these are the two areas where we're actually going to put the honey collection systems, and then we're going to try and figure out some buildings to wrap around it. But for now, let's just build up this first unit and go from there. So the first thing I want to do is put in the collection system, and that's just going to be a series of barrels in the floor, I think. Although by doing it like this, it is going to be a bit more hopper heavy, but that's fine. We've got an iron farm. In fact, we actually need to go one row further back, so yeah, this is a whole bunch of hoppers. Maybe I should rethink this. I think what we'll do for now is just keep it as a single hopper line, and then we'll figure out what to do with the storage later. Let's quickly get this filled back in. So if we put the azalea down here, for now I'm just going to put some dirt on the front so that the bees don't escape. Although actually, before I do this, I should probably actually make sure that all of these nests are full, which at the moment I'm fairly sure they're not. So that means I'm going to need some kind of a temporary room in which just to breed up a whole bunch of bees. So let's just quickly knock something up over here. It's certainly not the prettiest thing in the world, but it should certainly do the job for us. Then we'll just breed them all up, spam them with flowers, and hopefully we'll be able to get these filled up pretty quickly. So while we wait for them to do their thing, let's figure out the rest of this, shall we? So the bee nests are going to be sitting on these spots here, which means we need dispensers above those. Let's just put these in as placeholders for now, so we know exactly where the bee nests are going to be. And then we need a solid block behind each nest. And then we need to come out 2 blocks here, top half slabs there. And then we need some redstone. So if we put comparators down here, they're actually going to read the nests at the front here, and that should mean that if we go 1, 2, get some more blocks in here, and some slabs up there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when it's a strength of 5, that's when it's full, and then it should fire the dispenser. So in theory, this should work just fine. I've also added some hoppers and barrels on the top there, just so we can keep these filled up with glass bottles. But I think other than wrapping it round, that should be the redstone side of things done. Let's go see how our bees are doing. Spam them all again. And what I'm going to do is start blocking these exits so that they can't actually get out. They can still get back into the nest if they go round the back. Go on, get out of the way. But if we block off the front, then they can no longer exit. And that's how we're going to collect them all up again. So it looks like these 2 bees can't actually find a nest to get into, which tells me that these are actually now all full. So let's grab 5 of these. But before we put these in place, I do need to build the containment unit around them. Otherwise, this is not going to work. And for that, we need glass and maybe some dark oak. Actually, let's grab some mud blocks as well. So we'll put some mud blocks in front of those. Glass in front of here so we can actually see what the bees are up to. That'll be nice. And I think we'll just use the mud blocks around the side here, because that should help us when we come to wrap this thing in a building of some kind. And we'll do the same on this side. So that should do on that front. And I know we want to be collecting lots and lots of honey bottles, but we don't really have the glass for that at the moment. So for this one, I'm actually going to fill it full of shears. And then we'll do another unit next door, which is going to collect the honey. And while I think of it, we do probably want some light in there as well. And I think we may have enough glowstone. All we need is 10. We have 16, excellent. So let's actually replace these 5 here with some glowstone. And that should make it a bit nicer in there for the bees. Right, now we've just got to make a buttload of shears and put them all in here. The shears are all in, and the sun's going down, which means it's the perfect time to actually start thinking about putting these nests in. I'm just going to make sure it's completely dark before I put anything down, though. So in theory, when I place these now, they shouldn't leave their nests. Good to see my redstone works as well. Excellent. And look at that. We've got 15 honeycomb from the first 5. So it's definitely working. I think we can probably get away with sleeping now. And hopefully all the bees should then pop out. Oh, look at that. Beautiful sound. So, they're just going to do their thing. The little ones will grow up eventually as well. But that is the first segment done. We'll do another segment next door, and then we'll figure out how we're going to disguise these little units. I might even leave the fronts open, you know? So the second module is now in, however I don't have the glass to be able to make the bottles to fill the dispensers, and we need to make sure that these are 100% full all of the time. So I guess it's time for me to empty my inventory once again and go to the desert, because we're going to need a buttload of sand. But we get to use our furnace array. Woo! Full inventory full of sand and a little bit of cactus apparently. Don't need that. But we've got lots and lots of sand, which means we can actually get our glass bottles now. Let's go use the furnace. The carts are running, the sand appears to be cooking, and hopefully, yes, the glass is collecting in this barrel at the bottom here. Amazing. We'll have tons of bottles in no time. Haven't managed to completely fill up the dispensers as yet, so there's still lots of glass cooking, but there's certainly enough in there because I don't have any empty slots to actually get this started. And it looks like the sun is once again just going down, so hopefully we can get these in safely. So all the bees have got in absolutely fine, but I've completely messed up the hoppers on the bottom, so let me quickly fix those. So they are, of course, not supposed to be under those. They are supposed to be under the actual nests. There we go, and if we sleep, theory... Oh, look at that, so many bees. Next step is to try and make this look nice, and I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. I had a bit of an idea to maybe put a couple of buildings in that are a bit offset, and I might run with that. But I'm not sure I want this front bit here exposed. We also need to figure out something better for the storage, because currently only this far left barrel is actually being used. The rest of them are just kind of for style, I guess. So I'm going to give this a little bit of thought while we wait for the rest of the glass to actually smelt down, because at least that way we can completely fill up the dispensers, and we might actually need to go get some more sand as well. So while standing here staring and trying to figure out what to do, I have noticed a couple of times that bits have actually been landing on these leaves here as opposed to getting collected. I mean, a lot of it is getting collected, but not all of it. So we might have to make a slight modification if we dig in down the side here. And yeah, okay, so there is a hopper in the way there. So what I think we're going to do is work out slightly better storage for this. That way we can adjust this and actually get a hopper minecart running underneath this bit here, which may actually make the collection a lot better, and probably means we can get rid of a whole bunch of these hoppers as well. So if we move the barrel down a block and then do the hoppers a little bit like this maybe, we'll just adjust these ones as well. So with these ones, if we go into the back here and send them that way, then we should be able to get all bases covered. I just need to grab myself some minecart rail, and then we'll get the rail down on here. We'll make sure that there is a block on the end here. Let's block this bit in here as well. And what we're going to do is we're just going to power that there, and that should actually power the rail just nicely. And then we can stick a hopper minecart on there, and that should pick up any of the straggling bits that get stuck on the top there. Perfect. The only downside is we're always going to be hearing a minecart over here, but that's fine. And until we figure out storage properly, we'll just stick a trapdoor there, and we can get into this box here. Now we just need to do the same thing on this side as well. And there we go. That one should now work as well. Perfect. I still have no idea what to do with these buildings, though. Well, it's the next day in real life, and I've been giving this a little bit more thought, and I think I have a bit of a plan. And part of that plan is actually going to involve extending the back of this building out a little bit just so we can get a better shape. But I think we're going to do like a pointy roof thing on this side and then maybe a sloped roof over here. And that way we will actually have a second floor on the building. Wow, it's loud with those minecarts. But we will actually have a second floor on the building, and that means we'll be able to access the barrels all nicely. So I guess I'm just going to grab some stuff and start placing blocks, and we'll see how we get on. I think I'm happy with the overall shape of it, but obviously it's looking very bland at the moment. We need to sort out some texturing, we need to get some other details in, and we certainly need to sort out the roof. We also need to sort out these walls, the bit out the front, all that jazz, and I might try and get a couple more bee nests as well, because I think they'll look good for decoration on the outside, if I can even find any more. And I think with that, we are just about done. I just need to go see if I can get myself another bee nest. And if I remember correctly, there's still one over here. So let's just go steal this one. Yep, there it is. Let's just hope that the bees go home and we can steal the bees as well. And there we go, all 3 of them. And we'll just put this in the space we've left here. And we're now one step closer to getting our tree farms, which is absolutely amazing. But I hope you have enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye now.